So you want to make your LinkedIn profile look better and feel optimized. Whether you have followed guides online and you felt like it was pretty good, but you want to get a couple other tips to change things around, or you're starting from scratch, this is the right place. Hi, my name is Chris Cozzolino, and I am the co-founder and head of services at Uptown Creation, a B2B marketing and business development company. And so let's jump right in and not waste any time to talk about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So the first and most important thing is always going to be your profile picture. So you want your profile picture to be taking up the entire space of the picture frame itself, but not too zoomed in on your face that is distracting, or too zoomed out that there's a distracting background in the background. So I think that my picture is a pretty good example of what a perfect profile picture might look like. So it's a simple background. I added some color to the rim just because I like some color. And it is probably the right amount zoomed in and zoomed out. If you are a mechanic and you want to take a profile picture like on the job in action, I don't think that that is an awful thing. You just want to make sure that there's nothing distracting in your profile picture. And your profile picture is so important because not only is that your first impression on LinkedIn, but it's also what's going to follow you with every interaction you take, whether it's liking a picture, commenting on something, sending a connection request. People are going to see your profile picture front and center. So it's really important to just have that be a clear picture of yourself. And I know that sounds pretty simple, but you would be surprised by how crappy a lot of people's pictures are. So the second most important thing is going to be your headline. And the reason why these two things are grouped together are, as I mentioned, your profile picture along with your headline are going to follow you with every action that you take, whether it's liking a picture, making a comment, sending a connection request, like you can see here. It pops up with your profile picture and your headline. So that's going to be the first impression that a lot of times determines whether somebody even wants to interact with you in the first place. So best practices for headlines, and this is, I'm in a camp where not a lot of LinkedIn experts agree with me on this. So if you Google how to make a headline on LinkedIn, it's going to come up with trying to take advantage of SEO and keywords and saying what you do in a SEO type way. And I couldn't disagree with that more. I think that what that does is leaves your profile feeling spammy in every activity that you take. So I have some examples of some really bad profile headlines. So this one says, banks say no, we say yes. So I know that the second this guy sends me a connection request, he's going to try to talk to me about financing. His headline is really clunky as well, or his banner rather is really clunky as well. So you want to avoid this type of banner as well. Another example of a headline that I do not like is this. So business coach for high performing coaches who want to hit 100,000 with more intention and purpose. So a lot of LinkedIn coaches will teach it like the headline is supposed to be this one liner that's super hard hitting and gets people to want to engage. I think more often than not, it's just a line that follows you in every interaction and indicates to people like, oh, this guy's gonna, or this guy or girl is going to either sell something or, just try to engage with me in an authentic way. Another example, and then I'll pick this one apart a little bit and then say what I would do different. So proactive CPA, real estate, you can see that when it's reading, like it just kind of all blends together. What I would like to see is proactive CPA, line break, real estate investor, line break, and then partner at Reeves Accounting Services, line break. And then if you want to have like a call to action or a pitch or something, I think that the way that she could reword this would be like, ask me how to minimize taxes legally, and just have that one liner there. Boom, done. Don't need to make it, I help business owners and real estate professionals maximize cash flow and minimize taxes legally. Just ask me how to minimize taxes legally. I think that would go a lot further and really make the interactions that this person's having a lot better. So examples of good headlines. I think that this is a great example of a good headline. It tells what he does, and then it even goes at the end to give a little bit about himself. And it uses these line breaks that I really like to see. So then if we go to mine, It says all the things that I do and what I want people to know are unique about me. And then also I have my Myers-Briggs personality type in there to give a little bit of flair. So in your headline, you want to say who you are, what you do, and also what is unique about you that stands out from the rest. So I know I spent a lot of time on the profile picture and the headline, but I can't hammer home enough that these are the two most important aspects of your LinkedIn profile because they follow you with everything that you do. The banner, I'm just going to touch on really quickly. I think having a generic banner is not a bad idea, and just using the stock image. You want to avoid really clunky and text heavy banners like this and text heavy banners like this. I think this banner would be perfect if you got rid of all the additional text and just had it, look nice, have her picture there, and, just her name. I think that would be the perfect banner. Moving on to the About section. So the About section, I think you can tackle in two different ways. You can do something minimalistic like I have here, where it's just kind of getting to the point and having ways people can contact me, or you can do more of a narrative. And that's really just going to be a stylistic decision you're going to have to make of what you like better. I like minimalistic. Some people like to write. So if you want a more minimalistic type of About Me section, you can mock this one. If you want more of the narrative type, what I would recommend is the first paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, giving description about you. The second paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, giving a description about what you do. So you get the who you are in the first paragraph, then the what you do in the second paragraph, then make a third paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences with either a call to action or something unique that you want to share. Or you can just leave it with those top 2 paragraphs. So that's going to be the best way to tackle the About section. Moving on to the Featured section. So not everybody's going to have the Featured section automatically added. So what you want to do is go to Add Profile section. And then under Featured, you'll want to click one of these things to add something in there. So you can have a bunch of different things, and then it's in this carousel format. But the things you want to put in the Featured section are going to be either highlights of who you are and what you do that really exemplify that. Any accolades that you're proud of, any articles that were written about you, any websites you want people to go to, call links. Those are going to be the perfect things to put in the Featured section. And your profile will really stand out from the people that don't have that, because this is the primary real estate where you're able to showcase yourself and drive people to interacting with something the first time that they meet you. So everybody watches this Your Farm D is Not Going to Make You Rich video when they come to my profile, and that's the first thing that they're clicking on. And I'm still getting engagement even though this is a year-old video. So if you have a post that performed really well, that's great to put here. If you don't have anything, and even if you do have something, I would recommend making a 60 to 90 second About Me video. That is going to set you apart, whether you're trying to get a job or whether you're trying to prospect leads. Making an introduction video on your LinkedIn is going to be the standard, I think, moving forward, especially with networking being more online. You want to introduce yourself to people before they even engage with you and let them meet you without actually meeting you. So in that 60 to 90 second About Me video, say the who you are, the what you do, and then anything unique about yourself that you want people to know. And you could remake this video, every 6 months, because it's going to adapt as you adapt. So just to provide some examples of the Featured section, this is what one could look like with multiple. If you just want to include like your website link, I think it looks super clean just to have one thing there. So if you like that type of style, I think that could go really far if you don't have a lot of content. And then as you build up that reservoir of content, you can add it into the Featured section. Here's another example of kind of a 2-frame Featured section where you have call to actions here. So if you're a solopreneur or, doing sales, this is a great place to direct people to. If you're looking for a job, this is a great place to showcase what has set you apart in the past, or like I said, provide you an opportunity to introduce yourself. So these things are the most important part of your profile. I usually segment that top section, so everything above the activity section being really important, and then everything below the activity section being a lot less important. Now, it depends on what your goals are using LinkedIn. If you're trying to get a job, your experience is going to be a lot more important and the recommendations are going to be a lot more important. But as a whole, you want to make sure to have the top of your profile completely optimized before you even think about touching the bottom section, because the top profile is going to drive whether people even scroll down or not. Once you have the top figured out, then you can move on to the experience section. But like I said, I wouldn't spend too much time dwelling over it. Add some experiences, add some bullet points of what you did in those experiences, treat it like a resume if you're looking for a job. And then if you want to go above and beyond, hyperlink to some PDFs, PowerPoints, or previous information about that role that you held. Education and license certification is pretty straightforward. You can add stuff in there and it's going to be what it's going to be. Skills and endorsements. This is another thing that I think a lot of LinkedIn experts push incorrectly. You can get this up to 99 votes for everything, but pretty much everybody that has that, it's an inauthentic way of getting it. So I think just having information here, showcasing what you are skillful at, whether it has those endorsements or not associated with it, I don't think that that is really, really important. Recommendations, I'm in the same camp for this for the most part. If you're looking for a job, this is going to be more important than if you're a solopreneur or a salesperson or a business development person. So if you fall into the category of you're looking for a job, this is a great place to put any recommendations from previous employers, friends that are employees at other places and can speak to your character, or other coworkers that you've had in the past. I don't think you need a ton here, but even getting one or two just to show your character and, show that at least somebody likes you, I think that's going to go a long way. For everybody else, I think it's a lot less important. And a lot of times it ends up taking more time than what it's worth. It's not going to hurt to have in there, but I don't think it's going to drive results like you might think in your head that it will. So just to recap, the profile picture and the headline are the absolute most important parts of your profile because they follow you everywhere you go. Whether you're sending a connection request or leaving a comment on a post, your profile picture and your headline are going to follow you. Then when people come to your profile, the featured section is going to be what sticks out the most. So that's the third most important part of your profile. And you want to just make sure to have something there so people are able to interact with you in a meaningful way. Then the About Me section is number 4 in importance. This is where you're able to decide whether you want to keep it minimalistic like I have, or whether you want to go more the narrative route. And that is going to be up to you. And then everything else is going to be able to be treated like a resume. You can add more information and clean it up. But aside from the tips that I've already gone over, there's not a whole lot else that you need to do. Then as bonus tips, when you're sending out connection requests to people that you want to engage with, never send a message in that connection request because it's indicative of bot-like behavior. And then you want to start posting, anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week. Even 1 time a month is a lot better than having no posts up at all. Hopefully this was a helpful video on profile optimization. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and until next time.